Hey everyone, welcome to a new episode of Imagination Megapark. Now in the last episode I worked on this stage over here in the subsea sand area. Now here you can see the crowd watching this show over here. And here you can also see some entertainers dancing around, joined by these sea creatures. Now I got some really fun suggestions from some people, like to try and get the dolphin to swim through the building or through some space rings. I might experiment with it a little bit in between episodes, but yeah, thanks a lot for the suggestions. Those ideas might make this stage even more fun. Now, in today's episode, I'm going to work once again on the Sprocket City area. Now, Sprocket City is this sort of medieval but very technical style area, maybe a little bit steampunk-ish. And in today's episode I want to build a ride in this area over here. And the kind of ride is a ride that I don't use very often. It's one of those soapbox derby rides. Well, basically it's a vehicle for the steeplechase coaster. And yeah, I actually want to make these vehicles powered. So I will give them an invisible front vehicle that will drag them along the track. Now, before I start any building, I think I can name a few more handymen after commenters on the last Imagination Megapark video. Alright, I named two more handymen after commenters. And if you're not a handyman in the park yet and you also want to become a handyman, just leave some fun or interesting comments on the video. Alright, with the handyman taken care of, I will now start preparing the ride here. Let's go. Okay, I've now made a rough layout for this ride. So here you can see the two tracks. I decided to make it a dueling ride. I think the racing aspect of the ride will be pretty fun. Now I think it will be tricky to actually get these vehicles to stay together pretty closely. I might actually play around with some brakes or some chain lifts. But at least this layout should make sure that the vehicles both end up at the end of this station at the same time. Anyway, I'm just going to quickly pause the game so I can spawn the vehicles. So I'm just going to keep these as sport cars. So here we go. And I'm now going to change the ride vehicles with the ride vehicle editor plugin. Let's choose same vehicle number on all trains, synchronize, and we'll select vehicle 2, which is the visible vehicle, and we'll change it to soap boxes. And I'll do the same for the other ride. Alright, and I'm going to make the first vehicle a little bit faster, and I'll do the same for the other one. Alright, let's test the ride. Now immediately they will lose synchronization here. Well, let's just say this vehicle at the beginning is just ahead by a little bit. And then in this section on the way back, the other vehicle will be ahead by a bit. Yeah, over here they will sync up again. But yeah, overall I think the dueling here is pretty nice. And I actually don't mind one vehicle being ahead a bit. I think that adds to the racing aspect. Alright, just going to quickly give these tracks a different color. Not sure if this will be the final color, and I'm not even sure if this will be the final track type that I want to use. I'm also considering some other track types, but that will be something for me to play around with. Now, for this coaster I sort of have an idea of what I want, but I'll mostly be winging it. So yeah, for me, I've never really built a ride like this. course, I know how to do this technically, but decoration wise and ride wise, yeah, I'm just playing around. All right, with the track layout taken care of, the vehicles as well, I will now make sure that the track actually looks nice. And then later in the episode, I'm going to add more decorations next to the track. Alright, I'm still pretty much winging it, but I think it's already starting to look pretty cool. As you can see, I put some blocks under the track here. I put some different blocks right next to the track. I made some with these ramps and the edges here. I put some of these metal walls around. Yeah, tried to vary the pattern a bit. I think it looks really cool. I'm especially happy with this part here, with also with the little bridge. And here's another little bridge. Now the vehicles still pop up out of the wall here, but I plan to make a little building over here. Speaking of buildings, yeah, I want to have several buildings right next to the track with lots of gears, and yeah, I just want to make it look interesting, to have these vehicles, to give these vehicles an interesting environment to pass through. Now, before I start decorating and making all these buildings, I think we should first give this ride a nice queue and a nice station as well. So let's do that first. Alright, here you can see the new station for the ride. Now, I also tried to get a little bit of a different color into the mix, so I added this red color here, also to the ride right next to it. And that's just to make this whole area a little bit less monotonous. Yeah, and I think it works to yeah, have a bit of the red color here. I quite like the way this looks. Now, as for the building, try to use some different materials. A little bit of the Tudor walls that you can see in the entire area here. And a bit of metal walls, some other walls. And together, yeah, I think it makes for a pretty cool looking building. I also put some more yeah, futuristic stuff here. Like some of these running lights here to sort of make it look like computers maybe of some sorts. Yeah, I've also started using these doors. They're from the Icy set or the Antarctic theming. And if you make these walls invisible, yeah, these doors make for a great addition here. And I think they work really well on industrial buildings. And for the roofs, again, it's a more medieval style, also with lots of smoke coming from here, like lots of machinery is in these buildings. Also put some of these oil derricks in this building as they add some great movement, I think. Now, there's still some empty spots over here. So we still have plenty of space here to make some nice buildings. And of course, I also still need to put a nice building over here where this tunnel is. Okay, the ride is now fully decorated. Now I did change the station up a little bit, mostly just this roof and some extra decorations, but mostly it has stayed the same as it was. Now what I mostly focused on, of course, is these buildings here in the back. Yeah, I made these buildings kind of in the same style as the station. I tried to give them some interesting and different shapes, so the buildings didn't all look the same. And something which I also added to these buildings is these minecart tracks, which travel between them with these little bridges over this, over this track. And I think it provides some really nice interaction and just a really fun element. Also some animation here, which always makes an area more interesting to look at. But yeah, I'm super happy with how these buildings turned out. In the end, these buildings are pretty simple, but I do think they add nicely to this theme we have over here. Now, something which I also did is that I added some chain lift pieces, some hidden chain lift pieces to these outside curves. So in these outside curves, you see these vehicles speed up a little bit, and that allows these trains to stay closer together. I think that really enhances the dueling aspect of this ride and definitely makes it a bit more fun to watch. Yeah, I think this is much nicer than only having the vehicles really be close together here right at the beginning and the end. I think this is definitely a win. Now with that, I think this ride is completed. There's still a few spots where I could still add something. For example, we have an empty spot over here. And there's also some empty spots where I just, for now, just put some of these plantations. I don't know what this bush is doing over here. But yeah, over here another little area I just filled in with bushes. Same over here. I'll definitely add something over here later, but I just don't know what as of now. So for now, I just put some bushes there. Now, we've arrived at the part where I add another patron to the park. And I've prepared a little area over here on top of this tower for an entertainer to roam. So yeah, let's quickly put one over here. Alright, Nathaniel Wigman, thank you so much for supporting me on Patreon. The support is really appreciated, and I really hope you enjoy your spot here on top of this tower, on top of the station. Now, if you also want to support me as a patron, you can find a link to my Patreon channel in the video description. And the support is really appreciated. Alright, that's going to be it for this video. I think it will be fun to end this video with a ride on the Soapbox Derby ride. Now, if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to leave a like on this video. It would really help out my channel. And if you want to see more of these videos, you can always subscribe to my channel. Alright, that's going to be it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you again in the next one. See you later.